Greetings and welcome to the 30th, I can't believe it's 30, episode of Screaming Into the Void.
No!
Yay. So, yeah. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun with this one, I think. My name is Samuel.
Didn't I just see you all? Didn't I just see you all not too long ago?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that's all in your imagination. It's
drunk.
the hormones from the pregnancy.
All right. So, for those of you out there in YouTube land who don't know, I am Samuel the Infamous. This is Screaming Into the Void. With me is my co-host, Cat Hates Rings of Power, whose name changes frequently. I will not be changing your name on this stream. I know it's happened the last couple streams you were on.
I don't care. Do it. I have multiple personalities, apparently.
It's because Cat loves Rings of Power. I don't know why she denies it.
Yeah. And with us, we got a couple of guests. We may see some more people. We may not. Ryan from Legion Games 2076. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, good. It's good to be back after my wonderful hiatus of being trapped in a state due to the airlines grounding everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no computer. I had nothing. So I was just like, all right.
Wow. So you actually were in the void.
Yeah, I really was. Yeah. No, I did not have my computer. I couldn't even participate if I wanted to.
Fair enough. We also have with us Joker Voice, still not preggers.
No, I am not, and I've dispelled that nasty rumor numerous times. Let's put that thing to bed. It did not happen.
It was a butt baby.
Shut up, Ryan.
I've seen photos that disagree with that.
No.
Wait, Chris, what is it with the lipstick as well? I mean, I thought he was supposed to have a white face and red lips, not a normal face and red lips.
Cat, once again, you're overthinking it.
Yeah. So,
I can't help it. That's what I do. I overthink things.
It's true. She does.
You don't say.
So, all right, let's say hello to the chat. We've got
hi, chat.
I see Kohai's here. We have Caucasian Sasquatch. Good to see you, buddy. Moving down the line, we got Doug McCoy.
What? So Shadow is in first. I'm going to spend the week tormenting him.
Shadow's not first. Neither was Larry. Larry wasn't in the chat at all. It was weird.
Oh, wow.
And then we've got Alexia Hordwing. Good to see you. There's Boa, who was in the chat 3 hours ago for some reason. Probably just to prove a point. Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces. Good to see all of you. Hey, Rez. Good to see you, man. Yeah, it's something like that. There's Beak. Good to see you, man. So today, the main topic, although I'm sure that as per usual and as is our want, will probably diverge. Yeah, rails jumping. It's a thing here. But the main topic of today is traumatic 80s childhood movies. You know, things like the Neverending Story, Watership Down. I'm drawing a blank here. I had a whole list of them, but pretty
much almost any 80s fantasy films.
Pretty much, and basically, what I'm getting at is that there were things that were shown to kids in movies regularly in the 80s. I mean, it was par for the course in the 80s. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bambi, for example, mm-hmm. right? Bambi has some very jacked up shit that happens in it real early on.
My main Twitter account got suspended again.
For what?
I don't know. I didn't do anything. I don't call people names anymore. I don't ever. I get that if I ever get that thing that like pops up, like most people don't tweet this, I'll edit it.
Hey, Muggsy.
I wonder if it's because I've been sharing links from Substack.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
I thought he reversed that.
It's kind of wonky. I don't think they've worked out all the details there.
That's wild. I haven't even gotten an email for it.
Well, I'm glad you got the link through that before that happened.
Unless I got MASH flagged because I pissed some people off
shocking.
Because apparently I didn't support Speaker McCarthy wheeling in a shitload of fucking champagne. And I'm like, who paid for that? And then everybody's like jumping down my throat.
What?
15 votes. 15 votes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm back to my backup Twitter account at LG2076 News.
Well, I don't even know what happened with McCarthy. All I know is I woke up to them saying that he'd won, and I was like, oh, joy.
Yeah, he won.
It would have been so glorious just for the sheer look.
It's called horse trading.
No. But just can you imagine if they go up to Biden and be like, President Biden, we have selected a speaker. He's like, excellent. McCarthy, right? And they're like, no, it was Donald Trump. You could probably hear him like yelling.
Hilarious.
That would have been so. And the two of them having to work. The news would have been. Every news agency would have seen a boost because everyone would want to see the two of them going at it.
And then every news outlet they'd be like, I have heard that Secret Service is tripled around Joe Biden and Kamala Harris because of these wild January 6th people.
Oh, that reminds me. Since we didn't do a show yesterday, happy walking tour day, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Happy walk right on in.
But yeah, so Rails over there, we're over here now. But that said, so yeah, no, we're gonna talk about the some infamous stuff. By the way, there probably will be spoilers, but since we're talking about shit that happened, 30 plus years ago,
yeah,
tough, I guess.
That's on you now.
Yeah. So the number one thing, the thing that brought this up to me, and I'm gonna see if I can find it here on the old Twit Twats, because I bookmarked some of this stuff. But the thing that gave me the idea for this topic was I saw a tweet a couple days ago that had oh geez, that must have been a while ago. How much shit do I bookmark? God damn.
I get like a million notifications from you that you just tweeted something. So
I was
a lot.
I was suspended for violating the rules against evading a permanent suspension, which they lifted on my main account. That's why it was suspended, for violating. Like what?
What?
I don't know. Sorry. I'm just like, all right, what do you want to do?
Artax!
This was the one.
That's sad. I hated that one, man. That sucked. That was sad.
Well, if you look up here, the actual tweet that's attached to this image says people who saw this as children grew into very particular adults, darker, quieter, deeper, colder.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Which I think to a degree was true. This right here in an otherwise fluffy movie for the most part was one of the hard lessons that a lot of kids learned.
Have a good one, Alexia. Have a good one.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Hey, have a great one.
I think it made us more prepared for reality.
Oh, I mean, and there's also the when Atreyu is face to face with the Gamork at the end, it's nihilism versus hope.
Yeah, it is. Well, it isn't. It is. It's about. It's not just about death. It was about. Oh, by the way, this is hilarious.
Oh wow.
That is sadistic.
Wow, that's mean.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
So but yeah, it does. It not only taught kids about the reality of mortality, but it also taught kids about despair
Mhm.
and about giving up. And also,
Mhm.
when Atreyu fights through the swamp, despite what happens to Artax, it talks about hope and it talks about rising above.
Mhm.
And these are all important lessons. Now, these are things of substance that are in a movie that, like, on the surface, if you're just looking at it on the surface as an
Is
adult, you're just
it's
like,
just
oh,
like a
that's just
cheesy
kids
little.
fluff or whatever.
Mhm.
But these were real things of real substance in this script and on this screen that. I think something of value has been lost in Hollywood. Obviously, a lot of things in Hollywood are screwed
Oh
up.
yeah.
I'm not getting into that, but
Yeah, we don't have enough.
nowadays,
We don't have
even
enough
That
time for that.
even the
that was
most
last
innocent,
night. That was
even
last night.
even the most innocent kids movies, there's no substance to them.
Right.
No, there's not.
because all there is now is the message.
Yeah. And what's stupid is that movies like Lightyear, and they have to vomit this nonsense. Lightyear was not a terrible movie. I'm gonna be honest, it really wasn't. It was probably 5.5 out of 10. It's mediocre at best, but like the message was not that big. They had to make the message bigger because these jackasses just want to vomit nonsense everywhere and be like, look at me, I'm part of the club, guys. Hire me. Cast me in more roles. And it's like, dude, you're fucking up movies. Knock it off.
Right. So, and yeah, and a lot of these 80s movies, they concerned things like death,
Right.
and coping with death and
Yeah.
learning to accept that death is a part of life, like Bambi, for
If I may,
example. Yep.
if I may, the one thing that separated like this era of films, and it goes back to like the 70s. I mean, even up until like I'll say like the 2000s. Hollywood, at least the creators of these films, they were not afraid to take risks.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
Hollywood has become so risk averse that it's assembly line film making now to the point to where the era of the movie star is dead. The IP is the celebrity now.
Yeah, that's depressing. But yeah, it is. Not only were they. I mean, let's be honest. In the 80s, man, the people making the movies were
Right.
all hopped up on a lot of cocaine too.
Cocaine and capitalism, baby, bring it back.
Now,
They
Bring it
also
back.
care.
now the only ones on cocaine are the editors and the writers.
and
the
and the editors, the writers, and the VFX folks.
Yeah, yeah,
The
that's true. But
special effects teams, man, are like way
They
out of
are
control.
overworked. They are worked. Ooh,
It's way out of control. It looks bad. They don't give them enough time, and like, no,
And-
it's cheaper now because we
mean,
flopped.
and even a who's Nike shop is like, damn, you guys are rough.
right. So, and this, like, obviously, I brought up a couple here, Neverending Story, and there's other shit in the Neverending Story that's like
Oh yeah,
way out there in terms of like existential dread, that
nihilism.
kind of thing. There's a lot of really
The
dark
Void.
shit in that movie.
The Void, yes.
With the nothing comes for Fantasia, and it gets dark, but it's not totally dark. I mean, there's hope
Right.
in it, and hope ends up triumphing over it. And so it is about life, but it's also about not giving up,
Right.
which I think is an important lesson for kids. You got movies like Watership Down, right, where one guy, he has a vision of awful shit coming, and a handful of people choose to believe him, and by people I mean rabbits, and they go on a pilgrimage to find a safer place for their people. The ones who don't go with them don't survive.
Right.
I mean, that Watership Down is fucked up.
There's also what was it? I mean, I know folks love the Avatar films, but if you watch Fern Gully, it's the same story.
Yeah, it is. It's the exact same story. better animated,
Mhm.
frankly.
And that's a Don Bluth film, right?
Yeah, Don Bluth actually was one of the names I wanted to bring up because Don
Okay.
Bluth made quality films.
Yes,
And he
yes,
was
he
the
did.
only real American competition against Disney at the time.
Mhm.
And I mean, almost everything that he did had substance to it and was beautifully animated. You had oh fuck, now I'm forgetting everything.
Yeah,
All Dogs Go to
Go
Heaven.
to Heaven.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I
Oh,
think even the
yeah.
first Land Before Time was a Don Bluth film, wasn't it?
I believe so.
And that was
American Tail.
good.
American Tail.
An American Tale. Yeah.
Anastasia.
Yeah, and these were all great movies, but they all had something in common. They didn't shy away from the dark shit.
Right.
But also they
I
had
mean,
something else that we're forgetting that's important. And that is they actually liked what they were doing. They cared. They put attention into it. Me and Muggsykins were talking about it earlier. We were talking about Final Fantasy 14 and how they play the game and they care about their game. Or Warframe. Warframe, they went to every publisher and every publisher turned them down and they did not stop and they ended up publishing their own game. And now the very publishers who refused to publish Warframe are now saying, how do you do free to play? These are people who cared about what they were making. I can tell one of the biggest problems with Destiny 2 is they don't care anymore. They don't want to take the effort. You could see the difference between the first game and the second game. They definitely cared about Destiny. They put in attention and they enjoy telling the story. I mean, look at the crazy stuff I do with Warframe and my crazy stories. I don't get anything out of it, but because I love Warframe so much, I'm willing to put all that attention into detail and go out of my way to get a story that won't even be canon right because I care. And that's the biggest thing. You're talking about people who genuinely cared about what they were working on. Now, all they care about is the bottom line and the message and not enjoying the storytelling. They don't enjoy the storytelling. They enjoy the message. And that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because if they cared about the bottom line, there would be no the message anymore.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like there were always messages, there were always lessons in children's stories. I mean, going all the way back to the earliest fairy tales, you know, and they were almost always horrific and dark.
Yes.
Because they were about teaching kids that life is not safe, life is not fair, and that but it is not without, you know, hope.
Right. And this wasn't a film, but not the Thundercat, but the Thundercats cartoon. They employed a child psychologist so whatever lesson they were trying to impart, they consulted a child psychologist in the way to introduce this lesson without knocking him over the head with it.
Yeah, you know, and that's a good thing. Speaking of you know, non movie well, I mean, it was a movie, but it was, you know, based on a whole other thing. The Transformers movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Almost every character that we know and love gets fucking whacked.
Yeah.
And there's this horrific death scene for Optimus Prime. It's just so depressing. You know, but it just, I mean, these are the kinds of things. Bo brought up Secret of N.I.M.H. It's another one. That's another good one about mortality and family and doing what you have to do to save your family.
Well, even look at gosh darn it, what's it called? The Land Before Time. Wow, that's a kids movie.
Oh, and when Sharktooth eats Littlefoot's mom.
Oh man, that like as a kid that messed me up every time. It's like why the hell did I want to keep watching it? You know why? Because it's a good movie. And it has an actual message to it. Even Fern Gully, look, had the message, right? Fern Gully was about the fact that total deforestation is bad, which that's fine. It still told it made a great for a movie.
Right.
It had Robin Williams in it as a fucked up bat who had like a radio antenna out of his head, and he's like,
Artak.
He's just like, price check on prune juice, Bob. Price check on prune juice, and you're like, what? It was so funny.
Yeah, well, that was actually a pretty neat little device to allow Robin Williams to do his thing. Was the radio antenna, because he was picking up signals.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But no, it was still such a good movie. And yes, it had an underlying tone of like, you know what, the earth is important, which I don't think anybody disagrees with. But it doesn't literally take it and shove it down your throat and then try to fist you from the butthole too.
Yeah, Rez, Brave Little Toaster. That's another good one.
Oh yeah, isn't that the one? No, the Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars. DeForest Kelly was in it.
And Sammy, you might know this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there a Pulitzer Prize graphic novel introduced around this time called Mouse?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Mouse is a hard read.
Oh yeah. The
For those
only
of you-
graphic novel, graphic novel to win the Nobel Prize for literature.
Yeah, and it's actually one of the few graphic novels that's even considered literature by the world
Correct.
at large.
Correct.
Yeah, that was a special case.
It's not. It is not. It is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, for those of you who are not familiar with it, Mouse is they put animal faces on the characters. You know, the cats are the jailers and the mice are the imprisoned, and it's about the Holocaust.
Yep.
I don't think I don't know if I've ever seen that.
It's
in the library.
I think it's actually on a banned book list in some states.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised about that.
Probably
But
not. But probably not yours, Ryan.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
Probably not.
Just the once though.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you don't want to know something hilarious, and I have to say this because you mentioned the banned books list. You want to know something was really funny? I remember we used to have this thing every year at the library called the banned book week. And the idea was to promote books that were being banned, but it wasn't the porno kind of books. It was just books like some places banned Harry Potter, celebrating banned
1984.
books.
1984.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen the cover of this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very well known.
Yeah, I've seen the cover. I don't know if I've read it though.
Like I said, it's a
And it was-
tough read.
It
It's a
was
hard
meant to
read.
encourage reading, and
What's up, Shadow? Yep, Animal Farm surely is goated. And you know who knows a lot about animals? This guy.
Wow.
I'm just giving you shit, dude. Shadow was kind enough to invite me onto his stream Thursday, and
Wow.
I really did appreciate that. I just I can't resist giving him some shit. He's our
not.
junior member. He's our lovable punching bag.
He's baby nuts.
Baby nuts.
I thought that was
Ding, ding.
Muggsy, that's great. So, but yeah. So we get there's all kinds of stuff in all kinds of fields. Now, the main topic, obviously, we wanted
Yes.
to talk about today
Movies.
were
Back to
movies
movies.
specifically
Movies.
from that era, because like I said, as you go on, they either become more inane or they become insidious.
Mhm.
But they, at that time, they were making good stories that had good lessons that usually had at least one like nasty sucker punch buried in there somewhere.
Wow.
Well, look at Dumbo. Dumbo is has been redone. Home Alone 2 in New York, they cut out Donald Trump, pointing him to the fucking elevators. Like, what are we doing here? Have we become so fucking butthurt that like we can't have a simple person on screen? We can't have a simple, unfortunate maybe comparison with like Song of the South and stuff. Yes, there are unfortunate comparisons, but look, that's human history. How are you going to learn from it if you don't confront it instead of just like, I don't want to see it. It's so terrible.
Yeah.
These are paper people.
Yeah.
I would to kind of go back with the hard lessons and everything. I think a film that falls in this category, as I said, pretty much any fantasy film in the '80s. You got Legend, where anyone you got Mia, you got Mia Sarah's character, who seems to be the embodiment of everything that is good and noble and perfect in the world, and she's corruptible.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's another one.
And
I don't know if I would consider Legend a kids movie. I might though, given the tone of a lot of the stuff in the 80s.
right. And Tim Curry was just amazing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he was. Well, a lot, that movie's pretty good all around.
It is.
I would say that probably the weakest link is a very young and inexperienced Tom Cruise. He got better.
Yes.
He got better,
Yes.
but he wasn't great in that one.
Nope.
Well, also, if you kind of look at it, the movies and even the literature that's on the chopping block is all for kids. Like, the hell's wrong with Dr. Seuss? Nothing.
Oh God.
But there's like 4 Dr. Seuss books that are technically banned. Kids movies. They have to change for their own adaptation. The Little Mermaid, Dumbo. It's never good enough for these fucking people, and it's aimed mostly at kids. They try to change history when it comes to Blade never existed. Look how wonderful Black Panther was. First, black led. It's just
Spawn.
And then, of course, Spawn,
Meteor Man.
and
Meteor Man.
Meteor Man, and then, of course, it's like they always want to ban the stuff that affects kids because they're like, well, that's really racist. We don't want kids to be racist. I grew up reading that crap. I'm not racist.
It's no longer about children's programming. It's about programming children.
Exactly. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with protecting children. It never has. These people are disgusting. And quite frankly, they want you to just stick your head in the sand, and they want you to just be like, you know what, just, you take my kids and you go on. It's like, no, dude, no, fuck you. And it's like, yeah, it's the kids' movies that are really under attack.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they have been for some time, but like I was saying at the top of the show, there was a time
when there were lessons.
Yeah, there was a quality to them that there just
Yes.
isn't now. Even the most poorly animated stuff had a quality to the writing.
Right.
Yep.
That just doesn't exist now. And part of that is because now, and take the message out of the equation, right? The people they have writing these are not writers.
No,
they do not have the skills to craft a narrative. I'm not saying that they never will. If they keep at it, they'll get better at it. But like any skill that you practice, but they're throwing people in who have no experience and no understanding of how narrative structure works.
And then another film that goes into this and teaches a lesson, because again 80s movie fantasy, a lesson to not be selfish. Labyrinth.
Yeah, Labyrinth is an excellent, because Jennifer Connelly's character in that is fucking insufferable.
Right.
She is totally self-absorbed and stuff, and it's about her learning to think about others before herself.
Correct.
Well, even look at like the movie with Robin Williams, Hook. It's about
loved Hook.
It's phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
absolutely Hook. Phenomenal. It's about a man who has become too serious and he's lost the connection with his children. Mm-hmm. It's about him regaining that connection with the child inside him, because you know what? It's okay to still have a little bit of a child inside of you, because that's how you connect with your kids. Some stuffy banker is not going to understand why his kids wants to put together Legos if he's never put together fucking Legos as a kid.
And in that film, someone gets killed right before his eyes. Rufio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And that whole scene, that his whole death scene is heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. He had to process that, and then he had to process that, and then fight the fight, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Basically. You know, and then because then he gets wrapped up in being wrapped up in being in Neverland again, and he could have easily turned away, and he's like, no, I have to go, because there's that point to where, yes, I can connect with my kids, but I've got to grow up at some point, and there's that marriage between those two.
Yep. It's about finding middle ground. You know, you don't have to be a stuffy asswipe all the time.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
Speaking
no,
of
my problem is just getting suspended on Twitter.
Yeah, you know.
Well, you can't do shit about it now.
No, I mean, I already put the appeal in. I'm like, so whatever. It's like, yeah, I still have the other one. I'll use it until it probably gets flagged too.
Dear God.
Jenny. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never
I
know
love
what
you, Jenny.
I love you, Jenny. Lieutenant Dan.
Bubblegum shrimp.
Even that film. Even
Great
that
movie.
film. A lot of lessons in that.
Well, and a lot of historical stuff in that too.
Mhm.
Which it was a pretty well crafted film. I'm not one of those people who thinks it's as good as everybody else says it was. I think it was good. I don't think it was great.
Shawshank Redemption should have won the Oscar that year.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But that aside, okay, so I'm going to bring up a movie that is basically pure trauma.
Ooh.
The Last Unicorn.
Let's see The Last Unicorn.
Cat?
Yeah.
I've seen it. A very long time ago, but I have seen it.
That's an interesting movie to say the least.
That movie is not just about coming to grips with mortality, but it's also about coming to grips with extinction.
Mm-hmm. Much of the same way that Legend did too. They were literally going to exterminate a species.
Yeah. Yes. It is an animated film. Beautifully animated, actually.
Very well done.
Yeah, and it's one of those movies that stays with you, especially if you've seen it as a child. It's about an immortal, arrogant creature who doesn't see other beings as really real. As sort of just background dressing to the world that it lives in, and encountering difficulties that force her to not only accept that other beings have value beyond herself, but that she might not be as permanent as she thinks she is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I mean, the Red Bull was fucking terrifying as a kid. It was just the Red Bull, the Harpy, the Witch. All of these things are and actually that I believe the Harpy's bare-breasted in that movie, if I remember right.
That's a good question. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I'm gonna look that up because I think she was. But she was another immortal.
I think so. Yeah, I think there was like slight little glimpses or something, and it's like it. I think it was mostly supposed to be kind of like a stoner movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got America to do the soundtrack, to do the music for that movie. Which, by the way, the music in The Last Unicorn by America is the only music they've ever done where the lyrics make any sense.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, the Harpies. Yeah. Which is, I mean, I guess maybe at the time you wouldn't really know what the hell that was as a kid.
Well, yeah. I mean, everything else about the creature is super freaking hideous.
Yeah. So I think it's more like a play on like from an animal perspective.
Yeah. But yeah, she also another immortal creature who was brought to heel and super unhappy about it. Because if you remember what happens once she's gets out of the witch's spell, once she's freed from that, then she kills the witch and flies off. You know?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. I know that ultimately the unicorn turns into a girl. She falls in love, and ultimately at the end, all the unicorns go into the sea. After it's after falling in like what the king's son or something like that. The king is kind of like it's a very strange movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very strange movie.
It is, but there are some real things buried in it, which I do appreciate about it. But yeah, it's mostly it was just you're following along with this character who's just experiencing shock trauma after shock trauma,
Mm-hmm.
and then gets to the end of the journey and it's just like, well, fuck, I guess I'm gonna die now, and if I die, it's there will be no more unicorns, and that's I mean that's a heavy subject for kids. It's like not only is your life coming to an end, but you are the last of your kind. All the others are gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about this is movie stuff, but think about how Superman feels. I mean, sure, he's got all this like great cosmic power, but he's also in most canon, he's generally just alone. Now he thinks of himself as a human being, but if he really gets down to it, there are no more Kryptonians aside from a few outliers.
Yeah, and pretty much all the outliers are all evil, except for his cousin Kara.
And again, that depends on who's writing her.
Exactly. She's even adversarial for against Clark, but he was raised by humans for a reason, but he is still the last son of Krypton. So it's and one thing that I loved about Smallville is literally it's about his journey trying to understand how he being human and being Kryptonian at the same time is I think they did a really good job with that, and you could probably even consider that a kid's. Sorry, I don't know why you're fucking yawning. What the hell? I haven't had enough caffeine, I guess.
You didn't get your hot beef injection today?
Yeah, I did. No, I'm the one that's apparently impregnating Joker. So,
what? You didn't know such thing. Do not spread those ugly rumors, sir.
Pictures on the internet, bro.
Yeah, picture it didn't happen.
And it said not pregnant. So, yeah.
Pictures on the internet.
It said
honestly,
pregnant.
it doesn't look like Joker. Joker has a white face and red. No, that does not look like Joker.
Okay, and I'll take a step out of the 80s and go to 1992, Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, that was good.
There were some lessons in there, and they weren't afraid, and they were not afraid to tell them. And they didn't dumb it down. And they didn't dumb it down. They trusted the audience.
Well, even going slightly beyond that, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I think what also we're talking about an era where movies were for kids movies, at least from my standpoint. Like when I went and saw Hook, I went with my mom and dad, and we went out to eat later, and my dad asked me what did I like, and we were talking about the movie, and he said, well, what do you think about that? These movies let you think instead of telling you how to think.
Yes, that's the most important part.
Hey, Richard, we're talking about why 80s kids movies were better, and also why they jacked up a generation. Though, speaking of Hook, I saw that. I went to the theater to see that with a friend of my mother's when I was, what year did that come out? 91?
I think so. We're right around there.
Yeah, I was probably about 10, 11 years old, somewhere in there.
Hold on. Let me see.
So, but
Go on though.
yeah, the boot box fucked me up.
Well,
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, the boot box was
Yeah.
hard. I had a very hard time with that scene. I wouldn't watch that movie for years because of that scene.
91. You're right.
Yeah.
well, one thing, I think one
Yeah, 'cause,
important thing
yeah,
also.
the boot box, that's sadistic.
Was that guy?
I think one big difference also is this, and maybe is that, I mean, because I noticed it in the lack of toy sales. Now, toys do sell, but not nearly as much as they used to be. I think one big problem is kids aren't playing with imagination. Like, I remember hearing Neon and Geeky Sparkles from Clownfish TV talking about how you would bring your He-Man and your My Little Pony and you would throw all the toys together and you would create your own worlds and stories and imagination. And so you grew up as a child using your imagination. So when it came time to, as an adult, you already were I think a lot of these kids that are now, that a lot of the adults making movies today don't have that. They were fed so much content, and all they can do, and that's why fanfic and slash fic is so big now, because all they can see is see themselves in these worlds that are being fed to them.
And
there's no imagination left.
What was it?
Well, slash fic is a result of perversion, but
Yeah, well, that's disgusting. But I'm just saying.
And Chris Gore said, you know, if you want to see yourself, go to stuff like what you do, Kat, and make your own character.
Yeah. I'm going to.
They can't even make their own character. They make them into Mary Sue's. They don't.
Well, what do you mean by animated Titanic franchise? Like about the ship?
First, I got a couple things to say about this. First, no, and second, no. Justice for Jack.
Right. Thank you.
Fuck you guys.
Yep.
It's about buoyancy, you fuckers. They both would have froze to death.
Titanic 2. Get off the door, you bitch.
Get off the door, you bitch.
Make room.
When you love somebody, you sacrifice yourself so they can live.
And she didn't.
Yes, because that's what a man is supposed to do for the woman he loves.
Okay, sure.
I'll never let you go, Jack.
She meant the promise. I'll never let go. Yes, she did. I'll never let go, Jack, because he's like, promise me. He's like, promise me you won't give up.
Go because
understand the fucking movie.
I never watched the fucking movie
because he was a piece of local. Because he was some common dick.
It just meant that he had better morals. Okay, all right, because she was, the high society.
She was slumming, and then when it was time to go back to high society, she's like, "Well, I got to scrape this, shit off my shoe now."
She didn't go back to high society. She married a common man and died, happily.
Yeah, sure she did.
So, Bo actually brings up a great point, teaching you what to think is the point now,
right?
Not how.
And
that's true, but that's not even restricted to like media. That's that's in the classroom,
right? That's at home too.
Mm-hmm. I didn't take that bet, Carrie. I don't know you shit.
Yeah, I don't. What's he talking about?
He was betting on whether or not he was getting called away for something, and he was betting on whether or not it was for food. I assume it was for food because he's saying everybody owes him $5.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So
who was first in the chat today? Was it old Lawrence?
No, he wasn't in the chat at all today. I believe it was Boa about 3 hours ago for some reason.
Yeah.
Why don't you just come watch my live stream, Boa, instead?
That is
playing Warframe.
Dedication. That is dedication there.
Fuck yeah, Larry.
I don't have it pulled up. You guys all saw that thing that Shadow put together where JV is ambushing Larry, right?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. No, I did see that. That was really funny.
Oh, Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. But he sends his love. He texted me a little while ago, but he's otherwise occupied, so he's not online.
Gotcha.
No.
Sorry,
Zero is saying
gay cruise, huh? Nice.
Well, I mean, he has a family.
Gay people can have families. Just saying.
I'm gonna tell his wife you said she was a beard. And she will kick your ass. I mean, you may not be afraid of Larry, but you should fear that woman.
Oh man. I was just reading that. Yeah, I was just reading that comment.
Yeah.
All right.
Boa, I'd say that these people don't dream at all. Not really.
I don't think
they
have
that part of their brain that allows for dreaming is deficient.
I don't even think they have the ability to daydream, because it's like daydream is when you're just like your dazing off. You're thinking about like, oh, like what if I'm gonna play. I don't know. These people are so unoriginal. They have like zero creative talent. They just we looked at it last night, literally on Friday night's Royal Rumble. All the things that are sequels or remakes, or it's like
reboots.
Mythbusters proved they could fit. However, Mythbusters didn't take into account that the raft sunk into the water and they were wearing wetsuits because it was cold. So you know what?
On the door.
Fuck those guys. Take the wetsuits off and do it that way, you pussies.
Yes.
I actually I don't know him personally. He was a friend of my mother's, but there's a tugboat captain up in Alaska whose boat sank at one point. All hands were lost except him, and he was in, I think, I don't remember what the temperature was. It was something ridiculously low, like hypothermia inducing, for 30 minutes before they found him, and he did in fact make a full recovery eventually.
The North
it should have killed him 10 minutes in.
The North Atlantic, where the Titanic sank, is 34 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 2 degrees above freezing. You will freeze to death in 10 to 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless your name is Rose.
She was on the door.
She was still soaking wet.
Right.
Well, trust me, there are problems with that. I'll admit there are problems.
She was soaking wet, and the North Atlantic, by the way, is right in the middle of the fucking jet stream, so there was wind.
The whistle.
There is problems with that. I will admit. There's a lot of problems with that.
That whistle would have had to be surgically removed.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not. Well, you can see like the frost on her and stuff like that, and it's like, dude, if the water's freezing to her hair, her ass is at least gonna have like fucking hypothermia at minimum. But yeah, no, it's
plot armor.
Little bit, yes. No, I would agree.
That's
you know what?
You
know what? One of these days we should do a fucking stream where we literally like fucking EFAP Titanic.
Just rip it apart.
I love the movie because I was fascinated by the ship as a kid, like a little kid in elementary school, because they had that what's his name, Robert Ballard, book he made after he found the Titanic. Yeah. And it's got all the pictures and shit. Like, but yeah, when the movie came out, I was just like, I wanted to go see it so bad because like it looked awesome, the recreation of it.
I got news for you.
He doesn't have that. Well, he do have that clip, don't you? Means you're gay, Samuel.
Yeah. Well, I do have it on me. I'm not gonna play it today because I'm gonna try and get through one fucking stream without getting a copyright claim.
Wait, are you getting hit for that too?
Every time.
No fucking way, dude.
Every time. Oh, and the other day I didn't play it, but I got hit for showing the Evil Dead Rise trailer. So
drop like a two. Just cut off like the last 2 seconds and see if that helps.
Yeah, I know. I tried that last time and it still got hit for it.
Wow.
So that's
I get hit for the song, but it says no impact.
Right. And that's basically the case here. I just would like to not see copyright claim on my
if it has no impact, dude, it doesn't mess with anything. Trust me. I deal with copyright claims out the fucking ass. Like everything I do almost gets copyright claimed. Like every
Monday night.
Every Monday night we get partially blocked in countries like Russia and shit. Yeah. Yeah. Literally, main title from Game of Thrones. Copyright owners blocking in these territories, Russia.
Yeah. So, but in the
Right.
meantime, we do have our very own. It's a poor substitute, but it'll do.
That is not it.
Just as good.
Did Rose kill Jack?
Yes.
Why is there a suck it, Ryan? God damn it. That's the one that's going to win. It is win.
What?
Oh, I put a poll in the chat,
It's
Kat.
literally fucking tied with yes and suck it, Ryan. There's 20% no. Fuck you guys.
I just voted.
Wait, where is it? I gotta go.
Yes is nope. Now it's 43% to 43%.
Oh, this is exciting. It's going up and down.
Oh my god. Oh, yes is winning again. Suck it, Ryan is still in second. Oh my god. Now it's even. This
No,
is
it's getting its ass kicked.
That's because you people aren't educated. No, I'm kidding. Never blame the chat. It's all good fun. If Suck It Ryan wins, I'm just going to take that as a victory.
Oh man, you gotta do things to spice things up a little bit in the bedroom sometimes.
Oh wow,
Kate
that's
Winslet.
no, I don't. That's where you're going with that,
Kate Winslet. Let's simp.
dude. She's still fucking crazy hot.
There's your answer right there. Because it has to be there.
Oh man, it's just not the internet if you're not laughing.
That's true, and you know that's the thing about the internet. Like a lot of young kids and a lot of younger people and wine moms get really offended about all kinds of stuff that that
As
they
Loki
really
calls
should just
As Loki calls them, scissoring hens.
right.
Yeah.
The internet is a dick. Get used to it.
Mhm.
Right.
You know,
Or
pucker up.
get fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, seriously, it's like lighten up. It's not a dick. Don't take it so hard. Like, how can you not lighten up a little bit?
Like this guy does.
Look, Suck It Ryan is winning. Okay, so
Dude, and that's the thing, man. Like, I know you can handle it, and I know that you roll with it, and that's you know, if I thought that it was going to be a serious problem, I wouldn't have done it.
yeah, no, and I don't understand these people on Twitter who get perpetually angry over everything. It's like, well, you get people who are like, well, your opinion isn't welcome here, and I'm just like, it's my opinion. It's welcome wherever the fuck I want to put it. Like, you don't have to like my opinion, but it's still welcome, just like yours is.
I don't think that works as well with the opinions are like dicks metaphor.
No, it doesn't work the same way. I'm just saying, some people take other people's opinions like dicks. They take it too hard.
That's true.
That's fair.
No, I mean the whole thing with J.K. Rowling. It's like, dear God, give it a rest. Oh my God, people, just relax.
Oh, the new Harry Potter game.
No. She is evil and mean, and she wants to exclude people. She's exclusionary.
Like,
yeah.
we talked about this last night. I almost want to play the fucking game just to be like, fuck you guys. Like, it's a game. Lighten up.
I mean, it's not even like you have it's not even like you have. There's anything wrong in the game.
You are so lucky that my main Twitter got wrongly suspended by accident, because I still have that fucking photo. I still have that photo that was sent to me by Horny Alf.
Oh, it's on.
Oh, that's right. It is. Ooh,
Twitter.
ooh.
You
Yeah.
son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
it is. It's all
sh-
out there.
Hey, Samuel, do you want me to share that, or do you want to pull it up yourself?
If you've got it, go ahead and share it.
Yeah, no, I'll share it. Don't worry about it.
So, hey, Zillage, honestly, not really. I think Dewcock's got his niche
Niche.
and all that stuff, and every once in a while, I'll listen to some of his stuff. I liked him more less when he's playing his character on his show, and more when he was on other panels. Just having a conversation. I enjoyed him more then. But
So you're more like a pop culture roundup and Ferdinand for Alex then.
yeah, I haven't actually I fell out of watching Doomcock like a year ago, so I wasn't even familiar with either one of those until recently.
I still like him.
But yeah, like when he'd go on Midnight's Edge or something like that, I would, I usually thought sometimes he had some pretty good takes, but no, I wasn't ever what you would call a fan. I mean, he was adjacent to people that I was already watching.
Yeah. Same.
So I don't have an issue with the guy.
No.
No,
but,
I don't either.
I mean, he's more successful than all of us combined, so he's doing something right.
Yeah, and for the second part of that, no, I hadn't heard anything about that. Like I said, I'm not subscribed to him, so
I am,
and all that. But apparently, we're not supposed to say anything about this.
Say anything about what?
Too late now.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, look, I really don't mind the guy. I mean, but at the same time, I kind of feel like that.
He's on the same team. He's on the same team.
He's on the same team, but I don't like rumor news because it just I think it's hard to create a channel off of rumor news, and I know that's not.
Apparently, you can.
Yeah, it's a good point. But god damn it, I find the original one. Where the fuck is the first one?
I got tired of that after, especially the Kathleen Kennedy stuff. So I stopped for a while. I'm pretty sure I'm still subscribed, but I turned off alerts because I got tired of all the Kathleen Kennedy. When is she gonna get fired? No, it's like and the other one who was so annoying.
Any day now.
And I definitely did unsubscribe to him was Mike Zero because he'd have these.
Mike Zero.
Mike Zero's in his own class of special.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't say anything useful.
That sweet summer child there.
Yeah. Mike Zero is the
epitome of just
he's the DSP of the fellowship.
Clickbait. He is clickbait. He throws everything at the wall. You fucking asshole.
I'm just saying, this meme is about us. I do love jalapeno and pepperoni pizza. I'll tell you what, right there. It's delicious. You were doing all the work and I was having all the deliciousness.
You were what the hell are you talking about? This never happened. You dick.
Hey, Muggsy, Mike Zero is
he's a YouTube channel, gets a lot.
We killed Cat.
He gets a lot of traffic for saying nothing.
Yeah.
So Suck It Ryan is winning by 55%. Those are rookie numbers. Let's get those up.
Yeah, he says absolutely nothing. I listened to him a while thinking maybe, it was one video.
Cat, what are you drinking?
Gatorade.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
She said last night.
What?
Yeah, she's switching it up a little bit from the Red Bull. She's feeling a little healthier.
Oh,
because Red Bull is fucking poison.
Oh, it's poison like alcohol is. Seriously.
I switched to
nothing but poison.
No, I switched out one can of Red Bull for one bottle of Gatorade.
Well, I mean, if you don't like see cans. Jesus.
No, well, when
I wish you could vote twice. I would reverse my vote from no to Suck It Ryan. I really would. It's not a joke. I
think you're the only vote for no.
No, there was like one other one, and we were only at like 20%. When that was the highest, it was at like 20%. Everything else was like 40%.
That's good. That's good stuff.
So one other person agrees with me.
Yeah, but Kat, you know that like shit like Red Bull is illegal in like 30 countries, right? Because it's fucking poison.
It is. What
Yeah.
countries would have Red Bull illegal?
A lot of Asian countries. I think some countries in Africa, some countries in Europe.
Some of them.
Middle Eastern.
Some of them.
Actually, I
Middle
think
No, I've
they-
seen it in the Middle East because I saw it in Egypt.
What,
That's
is
Africa
Egypt
here.
the whole of the Middle East?
That's
Yes.
Africa.
Oh,
Everybody else is just secondary to Egypt.
I do
Egypt
have
is also all
multiple accounts. I could so swing this poll, but I won't do it. I won't do it. That's fucked up.
No.
I won't do
Even
it.
Africa, 90% of Africa is Egypt, and everything else is just the other stuff.
That's funny because I can look at.
Oh, I voted no. I was one of the only one that voted no, and I think one other person. Seriously, I don't know who it was. It's probably might be somebody who's a girl. I don't know, or it could be a guy that it could be a guy that loves Kate Winslet. That's cool too.
No, I didn't vote. I didn't vote no. I voted yes.
I know you, big cat. We've had this conversation.
I voted suck it.
I posted the poll, so it won't let me vote. But
I don't like Rose. I like to think of her as a murderer.
Murder has intention. You have to intentionally harm somebody.
You hated her. She was...
That's what we have manslaughter for.
Yeah, well, I'm about to say it could be at best manslaughter because she would, hypothetically. That's what manslaughter is.
No, she rammed the boat into the iceberg on purpose.
She was too busy getting plowed out before that. They walked up when the fucking thing hit.
To get some air, have a smoke. Because she banged
Jack.
after her fiance wanted some, and she was like, "Get your hands off me! Put your hands on me, Jack."
Yeah, she was in love with Jack.
Little whore.
Yeah. Paint me like one of your French girls.
Right.
You guys are distorting a beautiful story.
She's a hua.
Beautiful story. You know what? You sound like all those women who go around defending Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera as a great love story. It's not a fucking love story.
No,
that's stalking. That's called
stalking. That's messed up. I don't care.
It's not just stalking. He murders people. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gets obsessed. And then he gaslights and brainwashes the girl to be his quote unquote angel of music. Right? It's a whole groomer scenario, and the one guy who stands up to him gets fucking killed for it.
Zeron has a hypothetical question.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh boy.
Shoot.
What do you got for us, buddy?
Since we're no longer on topic here, so we'll just.
I mean, Titanic is still a good movie.
No, it's not.
It probably wouldn't get made today.
I'm sure.
I don't know. They seem to be letting James Cameron make whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that you don't see them blue boobies flapping around. You think they're gonna let Kate Winslet get fucking naked while be like, it's misogyny. How come Jack didn't show his dick?
That's because
I don't
if
think
they were to make
Winslet
it
had
today,
a problem with it.
no, you don't
No,
understand.
of course she didn't.
You see, if it were made today, it would be about a forbidden gay love story between two men.
Oh yeah, that'd be true.
Oh yeah,
Jack
it'd
would
be
fucking true.
Jack would be
DiCaprio
Jacqueline.
and
Jack would be Jacqueline.
what's his name?
And be trans.
Yeah.
Trans woman.
Billy
Jack would be-
Zane and
Jack would be Jacqueline. Jack would be Jacqueline.
Leo DiCaprio making out on the prowl.
No, because lesbians are higher on the list than gay men are.
Mm-hmm. But trans people are the highest on the list, so somebody's got to be trans.
So it'd be two women. One of them's a trans woman. One of them is a woman.
Yeah, I mean, we could just have a regular.
And then it would be a lesbian relationship.
Regular man with a trans woman.
And then we could go right, and then we could go for even more on the nose thing, where the trans person sacrifices themselves to save the one that they love.
Oh God, no!
And
No.
well, not even just that. They would probably actually save the ship
Am
from
I wrong
sinking.
though?
They'd probably save the ship from sinking.
Maybe.
Yes, the trans woman would say no, but think about it. If it's a trans woman and a woman, then you get the trans points and you get the lesbian points because they would consider them lesbians. Even though an actual lesbian would say that's not a lesbian relationship.
And
this
then
discussion actually makes my head hurt. I'm gonna be honest.
And then they would all be saved by Galadriel.
Yeah.
Aren't they supposedly recasting her?
No.
I thought I saw somewhere that they were recasting her. Maybe I was wrong. Oh, maybe there was like because there was talks that she was going to be possibly
quit.
Wait, Don Lemonless?
No, not Don Lemonless. Adar.
He's out. No, he's out too.
Is
They're both
he?
out. Yep.
Mhm.
Don
Fuck.
Lemon is out.
No way.
Really?
Wait, what was it?
Interesting.
This
Are
is
you
a
sure?
fun point here. Caitlyn Jenner would be playing both parts.
Mhm.
As long as the captain did not allow Caitlyn Jenner to steer the ship.
Right, because the women can't drive.
Well, because Caitlyn Jenner can't drive
Right.
Yeah, is also a raging alcoholic.
and possibly killed somebody.
I'm sorry, what?
Allegedly, there's a story
In
that goes back a
Minecraft.
while back
And-
where
yeah,
there may or may not have been drink involved. There may or may not have been a pedestrian hit and run involved.
they may or
Wow.
may not have been going like 130 miles an hour in a Porsche.
Oh, so
Yeah,
kind
there
of-
may or may
wow.
not have been pedestrians scattered all over the crosswalk.
You know,
Oh dear
just
God.
just the usual.
That happened not too long ago here in Las Vegas, where a member of the Raiders hit somebody going down a residential street, a 25 mile an hour zone. They were clocked at 130.
Jesus.
Yeah, rules for thee and not for me.
Yeah, special.
No. He got the book thrown at him because
Good.
he was clearly intoxicated, and my town has some of the harshest drunk driving laws there is.
Good.
No,
I'm
I'm
glad.
not seeing anything. I see here from October, it's about talks at season 1 and cracking the Sauron code early on. Damn, he's ugly.
Wow. Why do you hate
Oh.
black men so much?
No,
I'm
I
pretty sure
think
saw
I
that
think
movie.
I think Avery Brooks is hot, but this guy's ugly, and his name is Ismail, which is an insult because that's my uncle's name.
When did I ever give the impression that I'm a vegan?
That's
I,
sad.
I, I don't know. I don't know. What are you on about, Carrie?
No, I don't think he's leaving.
Oh, Don Lemonless is Don Lemon, dude. It's just a fun
Lemon.
way of saying his idiotic name.
Because
Yeah.
he looks like Don Lemon.
hmm
But no, I'm not seeing anything about Ismail Cordova, whatever the hell it is, ugly dude. He's really ugly when he's not an elf. I'm sorry, but he is just not at the top of my hot
Okay,
list.
Ryan, here is your hypothetical here.
Says you're a Starfleet captain and you're in command of the Excelsior class starship. You walk into a trap and 5 class warbird decloaks. What do you do?
You die.
Die.
You die.
Yeah.
Go down
You might-
swinging.
In an
I mean,
Excelsior
what-
class, you might take 1 or 2 of them with you, but you're talking about the Derridex class warbirds. They are massive compared to the Excelsior class. You're
Yeah.
fucked.
Right?
I mean, do they hail you? There's a lot to be
See a
asked
Squatch.
there. There's a lot to be
Big squatch.
interpreted there. So
Well, in typically in so the Excelsior class was the next evolution and past what the original
Right.
1701 was. It was the next model up. So given how we know the Enterprise, for example, or the Excelsior, they're not large ships. I mean, they're large
No.
ships.
No.
They're capital ships, but they're not like and on the same size scale as a say a Galaxy class like the Enterprise 1701D, which was still not as big as a Derridex class warbird.
Picard's ship was half the size of a Derridex class warbird.
Well, that
The
is also
Enterprise
that.
D.
Well, that is also that. Well, Picard ship is a Galaxy class.
So
Galaxy class ship.
and that was bigger than an Excelsior class because the Excelsior class, while bigger than the Enterprise, wasn't that much bigger. So the Excelsior must be tiny compared
Yeah.
to the Enterprise D. So compared to a Derridex class warbird, that's like a shuttle. You could probably
Well, the Derridex was the size that they were was for intimidation purposes. I mean, they were obviously they were decked out and they were serious warships, but they were made to look and the way they were and the size that they were because they were intimidating as fuck. So if you get 5 of those showing up, chances are they aren't there to talk. So yeah, you can hail them all you like. I don't think they're going to answer except with weapons fire.
Well, it also depends. Are you in the Romulan space? Because then they have every reason to open fire. And I mean, you're in the wrong in this case. Hell, even if you're in the neutral zone, you're not supposed to.
We're talking the Romulans here. Does it really matter where you are?
True.
No,
No, but I'm
really,
saying
'cause
even
they're kind of
more.
a-holes.
Kittimer, just saying.
Oh no, I'm just saying even more. If you were in Romulan space, yeah, they'd probably attack you outside of Romulan space. But if you're in Romulan space, that's kind of you have no defense. Starfleet won't even back you up on that one.
And I'm sorry, but Las Vegas residents, we're not vegans out here. I mean, have you seen the restaurants that we have out here?
Yeah, I don't know what he's on about. I
I don't know either. That's making no sense to me. I mean, unless you've been here and you've seen the slate of restaurants that we have, we do. I mean, we have some vegan restaurants, yes, and I know a few vegans, but we're not a vegan city or anything by any stretch.
no. Of all of Vegas's sins, I don't think that's like up at the top of the list.
No.
No, we have a very vegan city. It's called a cemetery.
That's terrible. That's I mean, I'm still laughing, but it's terrible.
That is lame, but clever though. Thank you, sir.
I do enjoy.
Ken.
I'd still have to go with I would try to hail them because obviously there's been episodes of Star Trek where the Romulans do go to speak first before firing. Now it's usually you need to turn the fuck around or we're gonna blast your face off. Right. So I mean you never know what kind of a response you'll get. Maybe if it doesn't work, they go straight for they want to blast you in the face. You're probably gonna have to try to gun and run, and that's not always easy. So, and you'll have to put obviously shields at full aft and max while you fire on them as you run.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't Romulan disruptors stronger than phasers?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also run by singularity. The ship is massive and powerful.
Oh, it's fucking huge. Yeah. I remember that episode of the Next Generation when the Enterprise D ran into him, and they literally did. They said you need to turn around and you need to leave or we're going to so no, they're that's not a fight you're gonna win if there's 5 of them, let alone 1. So even 1 is going to be tough to you're gonna probably limp the fuck away even if you win.
But even Star Trek the next generation had lessons, messaging, without ramming it down your throat.
And I don't disagree with what Carrie says right there. Yeah, if you got to drop crap in their way just to fucking it'll be a hindrance, but better a hindrance and a distraction than giving them full ass in their face to shove something up it. And so because your shields aren't going to last long. I'm very rusty on my Star Trek knowledge. I need to get back into the Next Generation because I want to watch Deep Space Nine. I watched Next Generation as a kid because my parents watched it like when it was still somewhat new in the 90s, early 90s. Mm-hmm. And so I never watched Deep Space Nine. I didn't know what it was.
You have to watch it.
Yeah, I know. I've heard Deep Space Nine is great.
What I hear, I mean, I watched them all, and it's been so long. But so many folks now are like Deep Space Nine is like the best Star Trek.
To me, it is. I consider Deep Space Nine the best.
I didn't get back into Star Trek until Voyager because I had a teacher in school use one of the Voyager episodes as a lesson for class, and we had to like sign the permission slip or whatever. But like my parents like, fuck cares, like we've watched Star Trek at home. But yeah, I know. So I got back into Voyager, and I actually liked Voyager. But no, I need to. It's just a successful franchise. There's so many seasons and so many episodes. It's hard to with reviewing lovely shows like The Witcher Blood Origin
and Rings of Power.
And Rings of Power.
And Willow.
I haven't watched Willow yet. I don't think I can do it. I think I'm gonna have to watch Willow later.
Dude,
I think I'm gonna have to substitute National Treasure for Willow.
Bro, you watched The Witcher Blood.
Oh, I'm not done with the nonsense yet. Trust me.
Oh God.
Hold on. The Witcher has a lower critic and audience score than Willow does.
I know.
That's how bad Witcher is.
I know.
Don't get me wrong. Willow was Jesus H. Christ insufferable.
I literally just got past the fact where they
which another 80s children's fantasy film.
Oh yeah, shit on.
Sam?
Sorry, I was trying to take care of something. What do we throw that again? Throw that at me again.
Talk about Willow.
The Willow.
Willow. Yeah.
Another 80s fantasy kids film.
Sure. I'm trying to think though.
Which
I think that one was probably a bit more of a softball than some of the others we were talking about.
Which I would probably say is the darkest though of all of them, because I mean this was actually planning the death, the murder of a child.
Yeah, there's that.
Can someone?
Nope. Those are the murderous, evil creatures.
No.
Murderers.
And also the great question: where did all the black Harfoots go? Uh-oh.
Well, there's none left because I'm just saying.
Somebody's gonna have to explain something soon. Like, going forward, there are no more black hobbits.
Oh, I know how they're gonna do it.
Where did they all go? Yeah, what? Somebody.
Well, given what we know about how Harfoots how Harfoots behave, they probably just genocided themselves.
Oh no! You want to know how? Because I know how to do it with the message and the narrative. The white hobbits came and no, the Harfoots are they're hobbit adjacent. So the actual
they're hobbits.
Only because of copyright issues. So
yeah.
they say they're hobbit adjacent, but they're fucking hobbits only.
I agree, but we have to.
So you guys are both kind of right.
But you see, I'm trying to tell it from their narrative perspective. See, we need to go from their point of view, and their point of view is they're not hobbits. So what would they do to explain the disappearance of the black Harfoots? The evil white hobbits colonized the Harfoots. The Harfoots suddenly decided to.
How can you colonize a nomadic tribe?
No, well, the Harfoots finally settled down, and along come the white evil hobbits.
The Shire.
Yes, and they colonized the Shire.
I don't even think you're giving them enough credit. They'll make the race of men's fault.
The white men, which
they're literally going to make it the race of men's fault. So that somehow any black elves or any black hobbits or
Numenorians, they're gonna come over.
These people are so unoriginal. They could be like going, "Oh, that's a great story," and it's like, you don't see are you that dense?
Yes.
And it's like some of them are literally that dense. I'll admit. Some of them are that dense, but then also the other ones are kind of like going, "No, we're gonna make it men's fault because evil white people."
Wait.
No, oh my God.
Wait. So you're talking about the writer's room for She-Hulk then?
Yeah.
I think I figured it out. Oh my God.
That fucking guy.
No, I've been playing with chatbot GPT. which I believe Jordan Peterson or someone mentioned it. It's that chat bot that can like write your papers for you. Well, I've been playing around with it writing fiction, and the writing is awful to the point where it's hilarious, where you'll have like just things where it's like, and I'm so glad you feel so much better. We need to focus on your it is so god awful. Like, I'm reading it and I'm playing around with it and just laughing at like the insanity where they'll be like, I mean, I had him at one point, he's telling a story and he's telling a story about how this 5-year-old who's a prodigy was taught medical reproductive biology. And he's like, he ran around showing his biology to the girls who didn't have it. And the response is, Ken is such a curious and insightful boy. We need to continue to guide him. But remember, and it's like, you know what? That's how they write. They must be using chatbots. They literally must be like, write a scene with Galadriel and a sword.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised, especially because Witcher Blood Origin. So one of the main characters, the two kind of main characters that get together, they apparently fall in love without showing why they fall in love, but they just fall in love with each other. One of them has to sacrifice himself to become a monster to defeat the other guy's monster. And so he over hulks out in a sense, like he becomes too big of a monster and kills the other bigger monster, but then he starts attacking his own friends. So the main character this is the Irish guy and the fucking black girl. She starts singing this song to try to soothe him in his hulkish monster rage. And it's the same goddamn song that they try to sing and make an actual thing throughout the whole fucking show. It's about how it's time for the yeah, it's that bad. It's about how the lowborn, it's their time to rise up. It is so terrible. Like, and it just, I literally turned on my computer because I was like, I got to get ready for the stream. I can't watch this anymore. I need a fucking break. And I left it right there because all of a sudden in his like foggy senses, he hears her singing. And it's just like, why? This song is not a thing. Stop it.
Well, I mean, it's gone. You're safe now. And I'm going to do everything I can to help you heal and recover from your injuries. You're not alone. I'm here for you, and I won't let anything happen to you. That's literally the stuff this thing writes.
Sam, is there a way to...
Did he die again? Because he died once before that to become the monster. And then he's like, I'll die for you. And then she's like, you already did.
Yeah, it sounds like the chatbot. It sounds like the chatbot.
Sam,
I'll let it rest because Joker's dying, and I don't blame him because it's terrible.
No, but the chatbot, it fits the language and style of the chatbot. Sorry.
She wants you to just like collapse into a bunch of broccoli.
Sam,
I want you to vomit up your mud baby.
Oh, that is graphic. I can't unsee that.
Sam.
Yes. Yeah, I'm listening.
What does it take to open the dimensional portal for you and your kind to come over and consume this world?
Well,
Please.
I mean, dude getting knocked up would do it. Don't think of it as a mud baby. Think of it as a larva.
Indigestion.
You are the portal.
Joker's got his crowbar. What happened?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Oh, you're probably right. I don't. I can only take so much terribleness in one day.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that you were recognized for all of your hard work. You deserve it. And I wanted to make sure you got the recognition you deserve. This is something that this thing wrote.
Who, me?
No, I'm just saying examples from this chatbot thing. I absolutely, now that I hear some of the stuff about The Witcher, Blood Origin, and some of the lines and stuff, yeah, it absolutely is the chatbot. It's too...
Dear God, give me cancer now!
Hey, Samuel, what was the results of the poll? Did I win at 57%?
It's holding there. So yeah, hey, how about we just close it out so I can
I win. Ryan can
get
suck
some. I'm gonna put that in the description too.
suck it, Ryan. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I will take my award. Oh Jesus, that's funny, man. What a. I mean, even okay, so even not necessarily movies from like the 80s or the 90s, right? When a lot of us grew up. Even like movies from like the National Treasure movies. Those are good family movies, right? They have a good family message to them.
Yeah.
Those movies suck.
What's wrong with you?
Well, that
They're
depends.
No, you are older. That's fair. That's fair.
If you ask my shrink, a lot.
So you know there's still
Nick Cage sucks.
Great movies by today's standards, and yet
Oh,
again,
That says a lot right there.
they have
Yeah.
to dilute them and fuck them up,
God.
like the Hobbit trilogy.
Ah.
If you go back and rewatch the Hobbit trilogy, that shit is bingeable compared to Rings of Power.
Okay,
Yeah.
the Hobbit trilogy should have just been 2 films.
No, it should have been one film. That whole last film could be condensed down to about 10 minutes.
Right. So it should have been 2.
I disagree.
Okay,
Kat,
because
you got the
Rankin
poop?
and Bass did it
No, Candy.
in one film.
because the Hobbit book is 300 pages long. So you could make 2, like you could make 2-hour films easy.
Return of the King is also about that long.
But the entire Lord of the Rings saga is 1,500 pages.
Right, and they did that in 3 movies. So they
Right.
could have done The Hobbit in 1 movie.
There. I'll admit there was a lot of filler.
There's a lot of filler.
There was a lot of filler. But at
cut
the
the
same
elf
time,
out entirely. You know,
Oh God, that was so stupid.
yeah, well, because what Peter Jackson originally wasn't attached to it, and then they brought him in at the end to try to fucking save it.
Not that I know of. I thought.
Yeah, no, Peter Jackson wasn't originally attached to it. He was only like producer or something like that. And then of course it was going so badly that they
Dude,
brought him in to
really?
like direct and wrangle at the end. What happened?
You're on saying it should have been 10 films.
Yeah, I'm about to say I think that's just fucking.
Well,
right.
I mean, there are
talking shit.
there are a lot of folks who when the films came out hated the films, and they're like, well, this person should have said this, and this was in this, and this, and I'm like, oh my god, that would be a 6-hour film, and like I'd sit and watch that, and I'm like, okay, you and like 5 of others.
I mean, I'll admit when the very first movie came out, The Hobbit, I watched it and I wasn't wowed by it, and it wasn't until later on that I got invited onto Inside the Booth to review the whole entire trilogy. I watched all of them finally, rewatched The Hobbit, and then the ones that I missed, and I was like, and I was in the middle of, I was balls deep in Rings of Power. I watched that shit back to back to back, and I was like, that's outstanding. You know why? Because everything else is shit.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I saw that it was coming out, and I was like, okay, I like the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies. I'll give this a shot. That was my initial thought process. And then they said we're gonna break it up into 3 movies. I was like, fuck this. And I was like, look, I might still see them, but I'm definitely waiting until they're all out because I'm not fucking doing this for one book.
And the one good thing about Peter Jackson is in that Charlie Rose interview is when he said, of course we all have ideas going into a film, but we made it a point to put our thoughts into the film, but to put Tolkien's thoughts into the film.
Ding ding ding.
Yes.
New Adventures of Henry. Yes, I've seen Avatar. Woohoo.
I won't bother to waste my time.
Yeah, I haven't. I didn't like the first one, and I didn't even
I
see
never
the
even
first
saw.
one.
I never even saw the first.
Yep, I agree.
One. So
Well,
so
I
there's
was
no point.
at a girl's house, and I was you know, I had intentions, and
No.
You rat bastard.
you know how it goes. So
That-
you do what you got to
that-
do, right?
That's fine.
So
Yeah, of
yes, I've
course.
seen Avatar, but I did not. It was years after it came out, and it was on TV, and it was just like I was like whatever, and unimpressed with it.
I have watched a number of rom-coms with that same intention. So
It's the only reason I saw Titanic at all.
It's a great movie, by the way.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I was trying to get
Stupid.
some.
How do you get
I
from-
was- I was 13. That was the first set of boobs in cinema I saw.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was with my parents.
I'm sure that went well.
Man,
It was awkward because my mom kept looking at me to see how I would react to it.
Oh god.
boobs were all over the 80s, so like even when I was
Right?
a little kid, I saw
Right?
like the very first
I mean-
movie I ever saw was Jaws. Right? I was 3 years old. Right? So there are boobs in
Silhouette
Jaws.
boobs, right?
Yeah, I mean silhouette
So-
boobs, but there's boobs nonetheless. And actually there's a pretty
And then if,
Dragon Slayer 1981.
yes,
Right?
Yes.
Underwater full frontal.
and I mean every sword and pretty much every sword and sorcery film in the 80s. I
Mhm.
mean Deathstalker 2, all those B films.
Conan the Barbarian.
Which are just so
Lots of boobs in that. Also lots of
Which are-
cannibalism.
which just wonderful films because they're so great.
Some of the boobs in that movie are not attached to people
No,
anymore.
they're not. Which I will say, I've been watching.
It's a good adaptation.
I've been watching a channel of late. It's called Film Symphony Orchestra, and it's this one orchestra, and they play like all these iconic movie themes and whatnot. It's intense. It isn't, and it's so good. And when they do the Anvil of Crom, I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
you can just feel that, and like, yeah,
Yeah, can you just feel that?
I can.
I could.
You jerk.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Yes.
around. Just fucking around. Hey, look.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
There
did
goes your New Year's. There goes your New Year's.
He did it.
Rez. There goes your New Year's.
It was just a
resolution.
Saturday resolution, man. Just this
well,
Saturday.
no,
I was
you
going to try and
failed.
get through
You
one
failed.
screen.
I got
couldn't
news for
resist.
you.
Congratulations. You
I
failed.
couldn't resist.
Congratulations.
Everything
you
was
could
getting
resist.
just
Yes, you could.
just
Yes,
a
you
little
could.
bit
You could.
too
You could.
too hey.
Hey.
Which
Well,
is
I mean-
which is what gay horses eat.
I mean, I'm just saying, Joker's the one that's had a baby.
That's not going away anytime
Bro,
soon,
the
right,
joke
buddy?
is never gonna go away.
I
Just
know.
like the whole Titanic thing with me, it's never fucking going away.
There's that, and then he's got this. I'm just gonna leave this up here for a second. They can
Okay.
still hear us.
It's a lot of dildos. I'm not. Hey, look, you know what? Sometimes you got to pay the bills, fuckers. What are you gonna do?
Wait,
Got to pay them bills.
I just noticed the one of those, was that a tentacle?
Yeah, that's a bad dragon.
Now the only thing is
Well,
you don't have any
Hentai!
you don't have any Hogwarts wands, because according to the Mary Sue, one of the many things you can buy instead of Hogwarts Legacy is a magic wand. Harry Potter themed.
Okay, you know what?
I mean-
no. I see.
So that's enough internet for the day.
Because everyone else, the one thing, oh my god, that's so hot. I'm thinking of Maggie Smith using that now, which is just a horrible
Oh
image
God!
in my head.
Why
now.
did
Thank
you-
You put it there, Cat.
It's true. It's true. Cat put it there.
No, did anyone else think Maggie Smith when I said magic wand? Because I didn't think Maggie Smith.
Just saying,
Take it
Cat
back.
put it there.
He put the Maggie Smith part there.
I mean,
you know,
talk-
they've got vibrating lightsabers now, so
we could talk about that girl on Twitter who likes to hump her dog, and she had all them all them fucking dildos in her fucking picture.
Has
She's
anybody called the police on that?
She's like, dogs just
probably
do
not.
it better.
Someone should, because that is illegal. That is animal.
she is not the only person on Twitter doing this shit. They may have gotten rid of a lot, not all, but a lot of the kitty porn, but they have not gotten rid of furries and people who like to fuck animals.
They did get rid of some riffraff though. That Legion 2076 guy, and he's evading.
What
he's
a douche
evading
that guy is.
fucking
Yeah, I
permanent
know.
suspension. Fuck that guy.
He's always
not like-
shit posting.
It's not like he got verified for a Twitter check mark. Fuckers.
Do you pay $8?
Yeah, I pay $8. only because it's like, dude, this is like this. It's like the business account. It's like, yeah, I want that fucking recognition. You know, it's like, other than that, I give a shit, dude. Fuck it. But weirdos, I don't know. Twitter's still gonna Twitter every once in a while. All them bugs are not out of the system yet.
Apparently.
Oh, and I see Zaled says Alinity. Yeah, Alinity's dog is so far up her fucking vagina. I have never.
That is just
And I actually,
so wrong.
I went to Alinity's page like not even too long ago just to see, like, you know, where are the dogs now? Because apparently she doesn't have her dog. She abandoned him. No, apparently she moved back to the US or whatever. And so in moving back to the US, somebody has been taking care of her dogs. And she has recently just is in the process of getting them back. So more dog sniffing pooter streams on the way.
Oh
Hey,
God,
Chaos
no.
Theory Productions. Yeah, as it happens, the image that got my attention that we talked about the other day doesn't have any dogs in it. I mean, unless you're using it as a pejorative towards a woman.
Yeah, that's her.
Yep.
That'd be her.
That is,
Okay. I had like a slight little bit of like a holy shit when you said chaos theory. No, it's organized chaos is the one that doesn't like all of us.
Oh,
We're all-
okay.
We're all part of the Phantom Menace.
Oh, well,
Woman,
no, I
you're
just
not a
I
dog?
haven't Chaos Theory. I haven't seen you here before, but maybe I have. I don't know. Your name sounds vaguely familiar. But welcome. You know, we're talking about things that make us all sick. So, but
We've definitely-
like, so you see right down there, there's at least 2 of those are bad dragons. First of all, I think 3. But that's a lot of toys. So what brought my attention to it was Ricada brought my attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Yeah. So this was my response to it. You know, I'm just talking about you know, the dildos themselves. But oh yeah, and this is good too.
Oh my god.
Wait, what does it say? I
Nightmare
can't
fuel.
see.
Nightmare fuel.
Ew.
Oh God.
It says
Good
No.
lord.
property of drags.
Oh my god.
The Uber Geek, member of the Legion of Memers and absolute badass memer, and also kind of an English prick.
Yes. The
All right, I'm gonna stop
the
sharing this.
Uber
It's making me
Geek.
a little sick to my stomach. So Uber Geek's great. But yeah, that got brought to my attention, and then I actually read what she said there, and I was like,
Mhm.
what the fuck?
Mhm.
And
I
that
mean,
kind of led me down a
we're-
really, really dark, nasty rabbit hole that I kind of wish I hadn't seen.
Was it here?
By kind of, I mean, really.
So was it here that it was us 3? I don't think Kat was here, but where you played that, Sam, and all of us were like, wait, what?
Yeah. Oh no, that was a Alinity. This is not Alinity. This is a different girl.
No, it's a different girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
there
whoa,
there are
whoa, whoa, whoa,
apparently
whoa.
a bunch of girls who are going online
Banging
and
their
announcing
dogs?
that they are raping animals. In fact, this one here, just yesterday, I think she posted something about. I think you brought it up on your stream, Ryan. How it was day 2 of her dog sitting for her friend, and she was
Yes.
cosplaying as Red Riding Hood.
It just brings the hey there, little Red Riding Hood. If you guys know that song.
Mm.
Yeah. Zillich, the first image was a girl. The second image was the same girl, but somebody had put Ricada's face on it.
Mm-hmm.
Uber Geek had. Go watch Uber Geek's shit. He does some pretty good reviews and stuff too.
Seriously, somebody needs to call the police on these people. That is a crime. That is animal abuse. Plain and
It
simple.
is. It
And
is.
somebody needs to call the police. That is disgusting. That woman
It-
should have every animal taken away from her and she should be arrested.
She's trans canine though. What are they gonna do?
There's no such thing as trans canine.
Apparently
Prove it.
there is
No. No. This is a load of you kip at this point. This is getting too far. We have enough problems in this country to deal with. We have a bunch of crazy lunatic idiots who think they could do whatever that. I mean, seriously, I'm starting to wonder, do we have some kind of plague of mental illness?
Yes.
I go back to a line from As Good as It Gets from Jack Nicholson.
What if
So
this is
crazy.
as good as it gets?
Yeah. So crazy somewhere else. We're all stocked up here.
No,
I
but
see
I
you
mean,
skipped over the whole Panamanian want a hump bar part of that line.
Well,
No, no,
yeah,
no.
there's that too. And then there's also, how is it you're able to write a woman? I think of a man and I take away
reason
reason
and
and
accountability.
accountability.
That's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, it's actually a very good movie.
It actually is. It is a very smart film.
Yeah. So
No. There is a limit to how far things can go. Don't trans canine my ass.
There's not.
This
There.
is insane. This person needs to be arrested. This is absolutely.
I don't
crime.
disagree with you, but
I
Kat,
don't
it's like
disagree with you.
we're not there. We're not
No.
there. We're not there right now.
No. We are in clown world.
Yeah, we have easily another probably 5 to 10 years of this crap.
Yes.
It's only gonna get worse.
Are you kidding me?
I
How
know.
can it possibly get worse?
It's gonna get worse.
We talked about this last night.
I still
This
can't believe it
is
can
the
possibly
final
get
read.
worse.
This
I'm not
is
even
the final read. This is the full court press.
Yeah, but 5 to 10 years? And honestly, it
5
isn't just about the Hollywood. It's about you have some crazy woman coming on Twitter saying, I abuse dogs. And I'm a and I'm not a human, I'm a dog, even though I mean, it isn't even about the Hollywood. This is a crime.
hey, Revenge.
Hey, Revenge, how you doing,
Hey,
man?
It reached the point where you want me to take you take this seriously? You actually believe this lunatic? No one is trans canine.
Okay, no, they don't believe it, but they will say it if they can get away with their debauchery.
She's
Yep.
calling herself that so that she can,
Right.
convince
she-
other
she
people
can-
that it's
so she
okay
can-
that she bangs dogs.
So she can hump her dog.
A protected class. So
And by the way, when I say bangs dogs, I mean rapes dogs
right.
Yeah.
No.
because they can't consent
she's
to that
letting she's letting her dog hump her like it's going out of style. She also says 3/4 of women do it. So who
Yeah,
the
right.
fuck are you hanging around with?
Yeah.
bunch of dog rapists. That's who she's hanging around with. She's hanging around with
look,
people who agree with her.
She needs fucking help. And
you should
I said
see
so.
the responses to her tweets because
no,
like
I know.
about half of them are dead on with they're dead on in line with what Kat's saying. About half of them are. The other half are affirming her, are praising her for her bravery. And
You're so brave.
Yes,
I saw something the other day. This chick had put out a tweet saying, "Oh, this is the picture that got me fired," and she was, standing there in her lingerie with her tits hanging out, like full on, and apparently that picture was taken at the bathroom at the office that she worked at, and she was bitching the whole time about Well, why would I get fired? It's not like you can tell where it was. It's because it's fucking unprofessional, you idiot.
Hmm?
You don't do shit like that at work. It has nothing to do with identifying where you work at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And all these other people are just in the response, in the replies saying, oh, you can't see where you're at there. How would they even know? And like, oh, somebody must have been following you or blah, blah, blah. I was like, it's possible that, that came up that way. But the fact is, and they recognize that it was, the bathroom at work, but that's not, you didn't get fired because, they might be able to identify the place. You got fired because you were engaging in unprofessional and solicitous behavior, by the way, which, since it was for OnlyFans, counts as fucking moonlighting on their property.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got fired.
Yep.
Because you were fucking with the job.
Like, businesses have credibility, fuckers, and it's like if you fuck with your places of work's credibility, you're gonna get fired.
I mean, at the very least, I'm sure they could have gotten her for theft of company time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure she was getting paid by them to do that.
This is what happens when you have an entire generation who are told that they can do no wrong. This is the participation trophy generation. No one loses, everyone wins, everything is okay, and you are perfect just the way you are. You don't need to change because you are beautiful and you are excellent and you are amazing. And if something bad happens, it's their fault. No, there are losers. You do things wrong.
Yeah,
Your parents should have beat the shit out of you a couple times in Minecraft.
What parents? That's the better question. What parents?
Well, yeah, because the parents now are
single mothers and absentee fathers.
Single mothers, absentee fathers, and Minecraft skins, whatever that all that stuff is now. You put this in a kid's hands, and you don't have to do your job anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's this thing with those devices. That's all they see. They see this shit all over the place. Mm-hmm. So they grow up thinking this is okay. Not only is it okay, but this is how things should be, which is incorrect. Which it also teaches them that they can say whatever they like with next to no consequences, and that and that by extension leads them into thinking that there are no consequences at all.
Correct.
Which leads them to do stupid shit. You remember that Tide Pod bullshit a couple years ago?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like obviously kids were poisoning themselves over this shit, because they weren't thinking, because they didn't think there were going to be any real consequences. What would have taught them real consequences? Fucking 80s movies.
Right. Because no one thinks, gee, concentrated laundry detergent, lie. Basically, it's lie. To ingest that, that's not going to cause any problems whatsoever.
I mean, seeing as how when in Minecraft, cleaners need to disappear a body, they use lye a lot of times to help dissolve it. Maybe you shouldn't be fucking swallowing this stuff.
Right.
Oh God.
Idiots on what started that? I think it was idiots on
It was TikTok. Yeah, it was the TikTok trend.
TikTok.
When TikTok was still in its infancy.
Because it kind of started with the cinnamon teaspoon thing. It started with that, and then it was the gallon of milk thing, and then it just progressed until that's just not exciting anymore.
Yeah, Zeron, I did see that. That was a while back, and as far as I'm concerned, that mother had every right to do that, and not only every right, but it was probably just necessary to teach the kid to fucking grow. Here's the thing, folks. Growth requires struggle.
Mm-hmm.
If there's nothing to struggle against, there is no growth. You stagnate, and if you're stagnant, you might as well be dead.
And one thing every 80s kids movie had, a struggle.
Yeah.
So something to overcome.
Well, it's a product of good times, kids kids who were born in like the 2000s and stuff like that, like, you know, times were too good. And even though, yes, there were some issues with like the recession and stuff like that, nothing to the extent of what we're, you know, seeing today. And now everybody's feelings is so on the line that it's like, well, your feelings matter, to where it used to be like, I don't care, like, I don't know you, I don't like, you didn't do your job properly, I don't give a shit about your fucking feelings. Like, this is the one major black eye on my generation. We gave birth to these little assholes. I mean, I was early enough in the millennial generation that I'm ironically not fucked up, but like later generations are, like later millennials are, because they're on the end of that whole coddling bullshit. It's like, you know, I was born in 85, like, you know, but you have like these kids who are born in like,
you're more of a Gen Y.
Well, he's an older millennial. Gen Y are the millennials.
Yeah, it depends on what scale you use. They say that there's like supposedly like an in between.
There isn't. That's bullshit.
There isn't. I don't. But let's just say this. I remember when there wasn't fucking internet. Okay. Mm-hmm. I remember when there was MS DOS. You're gonna learn how to use MS DOS. Like,
I remember
this comes from.
I remember when there was no cable TV.
Yeah.
I remember
the rabbit ears, a UHF dial, and 3 channels.
Yep. Yeah, rotary dial phone still.
I remember when there was a family computer. Well, there was no computer first. Then the family computer. Now I have 2 computers sitting in front of me.
I remember in grade school when we got our first CD-ROM with an encyclopedia on it, and there was nothing that was more top of the line than that.
This motherfucker is more powerful than my family's computer growing up.
Okay, Ryan, what you have in your hand right, what you had in your hand right there, there was more computing power than the moon landing.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and as far as that is, here's the funny thing about the Zoomers and Boomers thing, because they are always like going like back and forth about each other, which is kind of funny to me, because there are 2 whole fucking generations in between them. One of them is universally decried, the millennials, and the other one, my generation, Generation X, is largely ignored, despite the fact that the internet would not be in the state that it is now if it wasn't for us.
Correct.
Oh, and trust me, I take part in the fact that my generation, the millennial generation, is fucked up, because later in the millennial generation, it was too good. Mm-hmm. Like it really just was. It was too good,
and you got bored.
And that's because you know, Generation X and early millennials got past all the shit that they're bringing back up now. We had moved past all that stuff. There wasn't, you know, this focus on race all the time. There wasn't this focus on like, you know, everything's bad all the time. And actually, that's part of the reason that Gen X is largely ignored, is because we were also referred to sometimes as the don't give a fuck generation. Because we didn't
leave me alone
about anything.
Well, you guys were also like what, the generation of kind of like free love-ish, right?
No.
Or is
that was before us.
Yeah.
Okay.
The boomers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no. And I'm a very young Gen X. I'm
okay.
Last couple of years of that.
Because I was born in 71. So I'm
my mom must be a boomer then, because she was born in 69.
That is
if she was born that year, she'd probably be Gen X.
She would be like right at the start of X.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because it was 69, 70, somewhere in there where it was.
Then both my parents are Gen X.
So my parents are one of my parents was a boomer, and one of them was forgotten generation.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know, because they were 56 and 46 respectively, like the years 56 and 46.
Yeah, I mean, well, my mom just turned 60 this year, and trust me, she's very aware about telling everybody how old she is, and it's like, Mom, you know,
right?
Like, it's I don't know if she if she forgets or it's just like the insecurities of being 60, I don't know. I love my mom to death, but trust me, she has her issues.
You know why they call them boomers, right?
No idea.
It
Yes.
isn't because it
The
isn't-
baby boom.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
because of their obviously they did the hippie thing and the free love thing, but it was because when they were born, it was shortly after the Great
The
War.
War II.
Yeah.
And so there was an explosion in population, and that's hence baby boom, the boom of babies. Yeah.
Okay.
Because people were affirming themselves because they just survived fucking Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an actual world problem.
Yeah, I mean, if you just came back from kicking the bad Austrians' teeth in, right? What's the first thing you'd do? You'd go home to your girl.
Mm-hmm.
You make sweet love and you'd make some babies, and that's what happened.
Well, I mean, to be quite frank, yeah, after World War II ended, I mean, obviously we had the Cold War, and stuff like that. So I just, but even with that fact, like the United States prospered drastically, and even through the 90s and the early 2000s, until obviously we kind of shot ourselves in the foot with the whole spending money on Iraq and Afghanistan and like burning it like pot, like it's going out of style. And we've continued that trend to this day. So like these yearly budgets get bigger and bigger and bigger. Like at one point it was 3 billion. I'm sorry, 3 trillion. Now it's 4 trillion. It was 4 trillion. It's 5 trillion. It's like we need $6 trillion a year. I think that's what we're at right now. Like, oh, when they go up, they never come down, because these people who are not going to be alive long enough to reap the consequences, they're just like, fuck it, what do I care? I'm going to die. It's like, and that's another problem too, is that like you have these idiots who don't give a shit. And then of course you have these mouth breathers, the younger generation, who literally just who literally flock to them like idiots. Like I got into this, into a debate about with some weirdo who is like for the Hispanic coalition of like, let's just say he's been to the White House. He's been invited to the White House before that. And he was like, well, so what? What if Kevin McCarthy, wheeled in probably, I don't know, fucking $2,000 worth of fucking, sparkling champagne because he won. And I'm like, well, who paid for it? Well, it's like, well, it was, I'm like, you're just another out of touch fucking dude. Like, you don't understand where the American obviously my original comment is ratioing the shit out of the comment before it.
Hold up. You sound so much like a bad impression of Sly Stallone when you do that.
Well, what? No, well, Ryan, I can tell you why. It's because there's a disconnect, and it's one that I even had when I was younger, and it took me a while to understand, to understand this, and that is when the government spends money, it's our money. There's a discount. They think that when the government, and it's something I saw when they would give us stimulus checks, and I would tell people at work, don't you understand where this money is coming from? They think money coming from the government is free money, and they don't understand that it is the money you worked your butt off. So when I finally made that leap, which it was years ago, but when I finally made that leap that all the money that's being taken out of my paycheck for working my butt off is being spent by the government.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of it kind of reminds me of a joke from the sitcom Friends. Who's FICA and why are they getting all my money? It's like, well,
and this is what happens when you remove economics from an education curriculum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at IOC. She's like, I got a degree in economics. You didn't get a degree in shit. Like, I don't know what the fuck you were taught, but you weren't taught economics. Like these people, they don't care. They're like, well, it's all paid for over 10 years. It's like, okay, well, what about the plan next year that's going to be paid over the next 10 years? So now we're looking at we're looking at double the impact on an 11-year span, and then the plan the year after that that's spread over 15 years. It's like you're just kicking the can down the goddamn road. Stop spending all our fucking money.
Yeah, that's accurate, but it's also nothing new. This has been going on since.
You're right. Since what's his name? The fuck.
The commie?
FDR? Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The commie.
The Woodrow, the Wilson too.
Yeah, well, Woodrow Wilson was yes, but he was more of an organized crime guy than he was a commie guy. But
Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, we've been blasting ourselves in the fucking foot for the better part of fucking 40 years, 50 years. I mean, and it's like when do we stop kicking the can down the road? Because quite frankly,
I
at
have a
this
solution.
point, get rid of all the vote all the jackasses in
Mm-mm.
Washington out.
Nope, it's a little more severe than that.
To burn it all down.
Nope, not quite that severe.
Oh,
I say we build the wall. I think Trump was right about the wall. He was wrong about the location.
Oh yeah.
We wall in DC and we forget about them, declare it a no man's land, and then we get on with our fucking lives. Because guess what, folks? They need us. We do not need them.
That's
No,
The states are fully capable of ruling
anarcho-capitalism.
themselves. The states are fully capable of ruling themselves as was originally intended. We do not need DC. Period.
No,
I
we
say
don't.
wall every one of the fuckers in there and let them go all Mad Max on each other. Fuck them.
Oh, I mean, what they just didn't they just vote to give themselves another fucking raise or some shit?
Yeah, it'd be
Pretty
pretty
much.
hard to do that if nobody's actually sending any money in there, huh?
Yeah. Well, remember when we didn't have the IRS and we didn't have to pay an income tax?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well,
That's
the
only
IRS
been around for like what, since like the 60s or something?
again, the IRS, like most of our three-letter agencies, was an executive order and an unconstitutional one at that.
Looking at you, FBI.
Yep.
Look, all I
Ask
ask,
CIA, NSA.
Samuel, all I'm asking is this: when you wall in all of DC behind that wall, can you please include Phil Murphy? Just Phil Murphy, please.
I mean,
Phil
you'd
Murphy.
have to get him on a train there, as long as we're putting people on trains and sending them to walled off areas.
Phil Murphy and Gavin Newsom, maybe for Mugsican, Trudeau, but I hate Phil Murphy. Scumbag destroyed our state, moved here from Massachusetts. He's no New Jerseyan. I've lived in Jersey longer than he has. Why the hell is he Mr. New Jersey governor?
Yeah, and actually, I was speaking of three-letter agencies. DOJ is another one, but the one that comes to mind, DHS. DHS was an executive order that
George
it was
Bush.
created. It was created in conjunction with the Patriot Act, and it's still there. It was supposed to be an emergency power. And they weren't going to stick around forever, but here we are.
Nothing is
still there.
more permanent than a temporary government program.
Mm-hmm. Which is why we should make the government temporary.
I agree. Speaking of that,
Yeah.
I got a scoot.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for coming, buddy. You got anything you want to plug before you bounce?
sure. Monday, is my New Year thing on. I started this year for the Mondays. For anyone who might have missed a little pop culture news, don't worry, because at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern time, you can get last week's news now on Monday morning.
Yeah.
I'll start with that. And then, just my other stuff, you can catch me with this guy on Monday night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, going back to the world of the Westeros. We are in season 1 of Game of Thrones, season 1, where we will be reviewing episode 9 and going all the way through Game of Thrones, including season 8. And then House of the Dragon, which will probably lead us right into season 2 of House of the Dragon.
Yeah. Awesome. Looking forward to all of that. Thank you so much for hanging out, dude. Appreciate you coming.
My pleasure. Kat. Bye, Kat.
Peace.
And tell this guy that, Jack would to be alive if not for Rose.
I will tell him that, and you just remember to take care of that butt baby.
It's not happening. It's okay. See you guys. Toodles.
All right, good night, buddy. Real quick, Kohai, the reason that you want to stay states and not be separate countries like a United States is because while some people will look at the European model. I think that it doesn't quite work as well as we do. We have free travel, free trade between the states. I mean, these are good things. We also have a mutual defense. I have no issue with those things. I think those are good things, but I don't believe that we need Washington to make those things happen. You know, but that's why you'd want to stay states. If we devolved into separate countries, then people would start. You know, the free travel would be the first thing out, and then free trade would follow shortly after that, and then you'd have war between states, or new little countries, and it would just get bad from there. But if we remained as we were, but just kind of cut the federal out of everything, right? I think we'd be a lot better off, generally speaking.
Well, somebody in that conversation when I was talking about the fact that I'm like, literally the back carton of that champagne, I looked it up. From the actual distributor in California, it's like it retails for $58 a bottle. Then, of course, people are pulling up this like wine website to where it dictates what it's selling for throughout the country. They're like, oh, it's only like $15 to $21. I'm like, then why does it say on the actual website it retails for $58 a bottle? Something's missing here.
Wait, I don't understand what happened exactly, because all I know is that McCarthy got elected.
Oh,
and
I can show you here.
I then started live streaming, so I didn't really know. All I know is he won because at some point there was something that came up on my alert that McCarthy was voted in, and it was like, damn it, I really did not want McCarthy. I seriously, the entertainment value alone. You don't have to like Trump. The entertainment value alone of Trump being made House Speaker would have been priceless.
Well, McCarthy's just another fucking piece of shit. He's
he's
just another one leeching off our fucking tax dollars.
Yeah,
and look, I may not be a huge fan. Well, might be more of a fan than most of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She says crazy shit.
I like her a lot.
She says crazy shit, but you know what? At least she's mostly based, and she hates the fucking media. She's kind of like Trump with her bloviating. It's like, But I was the same way about Trump. It's like, he would say something. I'm like, you can't do that. And then later on, he'd be like, okay, guys. He's like, apparently I can't do that. So we're going to do this. And it's like, all right, fine. Right. You can get around that crap. But yeah, I'm going to pull it up from my email. This asshat who apparently is in politics. He's got like a picture, as his header on Twitter with, our current president. And I'm like, dude, you're so fucking out of touch with people. It's like, this is ridiculous. And yeah, I made sure I archived it because I was like, dude, I just figured you're going to block me after this. I'm like, I archived it because I'm going to fucking make a video, dude. I'm going to make you look like a clown. And he's like, I stand by everything I said. He's like, oh, you can archive away. So basically, did you get it?
Did I get it?
Yeah.
I shared it up. Yeah, it's up. It's up on the screen.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I'm looking at my other computer. Fuck. Okay, so this started with obviously Representative Nina Turner. McCarthy is having champagne rolled in, and so basically, I was like, the carton of 12 on the end. The one on the end retails for $58 a bottle. There's 12. That's just one carton out of like 3. That's $696. Most Americans can't afford just that one case. And then this ass hugger, he's like, that's not correct. Gloria Ferrer Brute Rose retails for between $10 to $20 a bottle. Here in DC, I'm not a fan of Kevin McCarthy, obviously Ukraine flag and bio. But it's fine to celebrate with family and friends after being elected. And I was like, who paid for it? If it was with our tax dollars, then no, it's not. And he's like, I don't know who paid for it, but it is fine. He's not drinking $200 French champagne. He's drinking $15 sparkling wine produced in California, the state he represents, though not in his district, through the work of American farm workers and winemakers.
Gag me.
No, dude, fuck you. Who paid for it?
We did.
Stop spending I don't give a shit if you're spending money on shitty ass fucking champagne. Don't send our fucking money to Ukraine. Fuck Ukraine. Stop it.
I agree. I'm sick of the Ukraine thing. I am so sick of it. They billions upon billions for a war that we have nothing. I feel bad.
For war. It's not for war. It's for a handful of people, and most of it's getting laundered and sent right back to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sick of it. It's not. I'm tired of it. We're suffering. food prices are through the roof. And where do they send our money? Our country's going deeper and deeper in debt. And what are they doing? Sending our money to goddamn Ukraine. I'm so sick of all of this. And then what do? They support that stupid omnibus bill where trash is being spent. Our money's being spent on trash. Like, can Thanos snap his fingers? Are you kidding me?
Oh
They're
my god, that
literally
was really a
spending-
thing.
Yeah,
They really put in $3 million to research the Infinity Gauntlet. That's not a joke. That's a real
they're
thing.
putting money in to support the borders of countries like Egypt. And look, my family is in Egypt, okay? I don't want any money going to Egypt. And I love my family in Egypt. I love Egypt. But why the hell should my money go to Egypt or Pakistan or Saudi Arabia? It should be priority first. And yes, Revenge of the Netherrealm, that is actually a thing. They also put hamsters on crack, and they did other crazy ass insanity.
Who do you think funded Fauci with putting the flies, the flies on dogs' faces, beagles' faces, to eat them and see how they react? So literally, faces were being eaten alive by fucking flies, and Dr. Fauci did it. Yay, hero of the people.
I don't get is why it costs so much, because I can rig up a treadmill in my garage and put a lizard on it and, time it or whatever. And that sounds like something that like I might come up with if I were stoned.
Because you're paying for your best friends, like going, hey, best friend, you wanna do this? Okay, well, your grant costs like $100,000 to do your research. Well, let's give you $1 million and we'll fund you for 5 years and you can pocket the rest, right?
Beagle lives matter. Yeah. I'm sure they do matter. I lost my whole train of thought. I'm just thinking of beagles.
So sorry, dude. I mean,
it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
No, I know.
Beagles.
I'm just, I had people coming up from me from the conservative side, and I had people coming at me from the liberal side, and I was like, no, I'm not cool on spending money on frivolous bullshit regardless. I'm a constitutionalist. America is the only thing we should be worried about, and Americans. Now, if it actually affects America's interest and our safety and security and the people who actually have our back, like especially Great Britain, who's been one of our longest supporters, even though, we're the ones who fucking, kicked them, aside 257
We also
years.
saved their ass twice.
Yeah. Or Japan. Japan is fully in faith to us. Like, Japan loves us. Like, that's fine. But when you're talking about
thanks for hanging out.
The Ukraine, who's like, well, we're a little wishy-washy. It's like, my Trump bad and Ukraine is compromised, and of course, all of a sudden, Ryan, Ukraine's the thing.
I agree with you in principle on a lot of this stuff, but I am here's where we differ. I agree, America first. I do, but I'm also an isolationist. Fuck everybody else.
That's a good point.
We don't need them. We have everything in this country that we need to sustain ourselves nearly indefinitely in terms of resources and people. We do. We have plenty of farmland. We have plenty of food. We have plenty of oil things we can dig up and put to better use. What we need to do is fucking wall off DC and wall off the rest of the country from the world and continue to go about our lives. Fuck everybody else and let them worry about what we're doing.
No, I actually kind of feel you on that one, man, because it's like I want, first and foremost, I want the government to leave me the fuck alone. Like, just stop taking from my pocket. First off, for your nonsensical bullshit. I'll live out, quietly. Leave me alone. Don't fucking put your restrictions on me. Like, you need to wear a mask, or you need to, hey man, like you can't. Oh. The Trump era bump stock ban that failed by a federal judge. That was a Clinton appointed federal judge. That failed. You can still buy a bump stock. Look, I get it. Trump was he was in office. He was probably listening to people, and he's like, all right, let's do legislation. And I've listened to Donald Trump say, that the reason that kids commit violence in schools is because of video games. No, it's not because of video games. It's because of lack of parenting. That's everything. Parent your goddamn kids. I grew up with a single mom. I really did. I swear to God, I did. And it wasn't until I was about 10 years old, technically probably about 8 years old. My stepdad came into the picture. Him and I butted heads for years. I never called him dad, but you know what? The man fucking raised me. Now he's my father. And quite frankly, if he was on his fucking deathbed and I had the money to do so, I would pay for experimental research to try to save his life. You know why? Because kids need their fucking parents.
Yeah.
They do. They need both of their parents. They need their mother and they need their father. They need both halves to make a whole.
I feel like I got a little heated on this stream. Sorry, guys.
No,
You know
you're
what?
right. And if
Just
that's
slightly
heated, that's
spicy.
nothing compared to the
Bad that I am.
insanity I've done.
Bad. I shake
But
on my
no,
finger
you're
at
right.
you.
No, because
juice. No, it's kidding.
no, because the thing is, my parents divorced as well, and I was raised briefly by a single father. And one of the big differences between me and my mother, which is my stepmother technically, is I don't think mothers should work, because I remember, I mean, my parents divorced when I was like 8. My mom was home. And then when I saw my younger brothers, or my half brothers technically, while my stepmother was working, I could see a difference. And you can even argue, oh, well, it was while they were at school. No, because when they're at school, you do the stuff that you do so that when they come home, you're free. So I would see my mom come home from work, and my brothers would not get the attention that I got, even if it was only until I was 7. So I'm crazy. I don't think a mother should work. I think kids need both parents as well, and it makes a huge difference. And I don't know, but I agree with you. This is insane, and I'm tired of the government taking from us. I work really, really hard, and you keep taking. The more hours I work, the more you take from me.
Mm-hmm. And the higher your tax bracket goes, the more they take. Because they want to send things like gender studies to Iran. Well, look how those gender studies are going in Iran. I'm just saying, I support the women in Iran that are standing up, but guess what? The a-holes are rounding up the women in Iran and they're imprisoning them. You know why? Because it's like, well, America's so terrible and racist and all this crap. And it's like, would you like to go to Africa where there's on average 29.3 million slaves on this planet still to this day, where most are in Africa? 29.3 million.
That's insane.
But hey, guys, America is bad for slavery.
Hey, Boa, you and I have gone rounds about this. You know, we're not going to agree on this. I don't want to have the argument again. I'm sorry that I said what I did in the chat, but I also meant what I said. You know, and I don't agree. You know that. You know, so, but you know, and maybe if it turns out you're right one day, then you know, I'll be the first to admit it. But I don't believe it's possible.
I think I'm missing a little bit of context.
Yeah, he's got this. He and I have been having this argument for a couple of months now, and neither one of us is making any headway with the other, and it's almost. We should just drop it between the two of us. I really think so. So, that said, yeah, where were we at? I lost
the last unicorn.
Sure,
No.
sure. The last unicorn was.
I don't understand how this could continue for another 5 years. I do not understand how this could continue for another 5 years and get worse.
Okay, I'll say this real quick. Boa, email me at legiongames2076@gmail.com. I don't know what you guys are like arguing about and stuff like that. I'd be willing to have like a small conversation with you because I'm not in it. I've never been in it, and obviously you guys can't find an impasse. So I'm just kind of curious if Samuel's okay with it.
Yeah,
you know, I don't want to step on toes.
Wait, it's not like he's got to ask me who he gets to talk to, man. What the fuck?
Well, it's your channel. Come on.
Yeah, no, Bo's a friend. I love the guy. I love having him around. There are certain things that we fundamentally disagree on, and that's fine.
And that's fair because You know, I'm a I celebrate Christmas, stuff like that. You don't, and guess what? The universe does not implode.
I mean, it might, but it.
It's only 'cause
at that point, say the universe does in fact implode, right? Would we, any of us, be in a position to care about our arguments at that point?
No,
I don't think we would.
Well, only two of us going to heaven there out of 3. You heathen! Just kidding. Just fucking And it's Buster and not Cat because she hates rings of power. And
I know.
Representation.
I am irreprehensible and unredeemable because of my hatred for Rings of Power.
Rings of Power loves Cat.
Boa, yeah, I'll absolutely I'll pass that on for him. What was your email again, dude?
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Legion Games. I'm an idiot, so after I'm just kidding.
I mean, I have your email. I just didn't memorize it.
Well, apparently, don't send me shit on Twitter at my main account anymore until Elon.
I'm good with it, man, because I have been using your alternate account until like a week ago. So,
well, I'm using it again, and that's why I have it.
I had. Did you see that shit in the private conversation on there? Because Horny Alf was like, "Did Ryan get suspended again?"
Did he?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see. Oh God. Can you guys add me to the chat, please? My alternate.
Wasn't it already on there? Or did you take yourself out?
No, I took myself off because I got my original account back and I was getting dual notifications back and forth. And I was like, okay, well,
that'll learn you, won't it?
Well, I won my appeal. The old Twitter organization that suspended me for being like, calling out the FBI and Joe Biden, got wrecked. And I got my account back. They're like, we reviewed it and you didn't break Twitter's terms of service. I was like, okay, fine. I was like, I got Twitter, I got a blue check mark now, like everything's good. And then all of a sudden, poof, just right as after I got on the stream, and it's like, you are suspended for evading a permanent suspension. I'm like, what? Like, my original account was the permanent suspension. How am I invading a reinstatement?
I think you're probably going to have JV do that. I don't think I know how to add somebody to an existing chat.
You go up to the eye in the corner and you hit add.
Oh,
you can yeah.
That's easy enough. All right.
I'm gonna have to bounce in 8 minutes. Yeah. I got a phone call to return. But yeah, no.
Okay, no worries. Well, we can let's see. We've been going for about almost 2.5 hours, so we can probably unless Kat wants to continue to berate each other senseless.
That's okay. You know what? I mean,
wait, Revenge said that's what happened to me. It's such bullshit. It has to be a glitch in the old Twitter versus
it probably
the new.
Is. It probably is. There's probably some shit that's just not working out. Like,
yeah,
because they're trying to implement new stuff, but it's probably clashing with stuff that they like. The old Twitter was a massive thing,
an infection.
Yeah, but my point is like, it's possible that some of that infection, at least,
still exists.
Tech-wise, is still, there's still a ghost in the machine, as it were.
Yeah. Yes, it's a great reference. I love it. Ghost in the machine.
So yeah, I guess we probably will we'll cut it off here, have some dinner, and then I will most likely be back on the Lioness's channel here in a couple hours. I believe she is going live later. Yeah, so Kat,
what's up?
What you got?
I'm going to play video games. Tomorrow I'm going to live stream, probably. And then I want to try and live stream more during the week. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I also want to make more videos. Me and Shadow have our usual live stream on Thursdays. Then on Friday, Royal Rumble and next Saturday, and it goes on and on, the perpetual unending cycle. Maybe I should make a live stream with Buster and just put her in front of the computer and put our camera and see what happens. Everyone's like, make a YouTube channel for Buster. I'm like, you know, she sleeps 90% of the day. A YouTube channel for Buster would consist of, except no, she snores like this. She goes.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
By the way that you're actually hanging from the you
Yeah.
know, the rack above there. I'm
Yeah.
just saying you could it's in movies, but you could make only hijabs and you could you could sell those pictures. I'm just saying a little bit of or whatever. It's been a while since I've heard the music, but just saying only hijabs. Look at it, there it is. Don't do pull-ups.
Why not? I do pull-ups all the time now. I'm trying to. My goal is to get by the end of the year to get up to 65. To get 65-inch TVs. I can do 55 right now.
You ain't got to take nothing off. Just dance around a little bit. Only hijabs.
Yeah, there's
come for the dance, stay for the head covering.
No.
Wait, no.
I mean, no, because then it'll devolve into something like this.
The bro jobby gamer.
I love hijabi mania.
I'm all about hijabi mania. I support that.
Oh god, I forgot. I wanted to send Ryan and Jeremy hijabs. It's literally a square piece of fabric.
You should send one to Drunk 3PO. It'll confuse the shit out of him.
Send one to me. I'll wear the fuck out of that shit on every live stream for a month. I'm not even fucking around.
Well, you know, Drunk 3PO is the one who was always asking questions about how they fucking work.
Yes,
right?
I know. He is, right?
I miss doing live streams with him. He's great.
He is a fucking riot.
You remember that stream where you put Ivan Ortega in his fucking place with his little TV?
I was like, what was that? It was like a 24-inch dude. What is this trash?
Look, he's growing up in the poor country of it's like is it Mexico or Ecuador?
He's from Mexico.
Oh, it's Mexico. Okay.
Yeah.
They have bigger TVs there.
He's in the poor country of Mexico. Depends on the part of the Mexico you go to.
Right. Yeah, it was a small Acer monitor. Yeah. All right. So Ryan, what you got coming up?
Oh, tomorrow night we have the Phoenix Legions podcast on my channel, Legion of Wire, and we mainly broadcast it on Nadine's channel, Multifaceted with Nadine. But either one works. Just follow me on my alternate Twitter account again, LG2076 News. And on Monday we will be reviewing Game of Thrones season 1, episode 9. With Joker voice, Lily 300 Mirrors, and with Shadow what the hell? And then of course follow, come back again on for Friday night's Royal Rumble, and I think that's it.
Nice. Looking forward to that stuff. For myself, I'm Samuel Infamous. This is my channel. This is the main show on the channel. Screaming into the Void, or as I like to call it sometimes, SITV. And then we've got the Thursday show, Abyssal Musings, with myself and Lawrence Knight.
Fuck Larry, he sucks.
Yeah,
just kidding, Larry. Lots of love, buddy.
And then I finally got this joint of mine, this thumb joint of mine, in a workable position. I think I can probably start game streaming again soon. So we're gonna try and pick up some more on Evil West, despite the new TOS about massive blood and all that. I'm not fucking monetized. Fuck it.
It's just a YouTube thing. You can fight that easily. They're clowns.
So, but we'll probably start doing that some more, and then we'll see what else happens. You can find me also on the Exiled Linus channel last week. And if I'm on other people's channels, which happened like 3 times last week, I will post their links in my community tab, so you can go and find them as well. that kind of thing. Also, all of everybody who was on screen here tonight, all of their information, where you can find them on YouTube and in Cat's case on Rumble, is in the description of this video. And yeah, that said, I don't know. Is there anything I'm missing?
Bo said your dating preferences are yours alone, Ryan. You're damn right. What can I say? I like them.
Your baby mamas.
Alone is right.
Hey. That tastes. It's got a blue raspberry.
Tastes like blueberry. Yeah.
Has a blue raspberry taste, and it hits you right in the back of the throat. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna play the thing again, but yeah, that was good. All right, well, folks, it's been a lot of fun. I've actually really enjoyed this. I hope you have as well. I think we've had a pretty good discussion here today. Like I said, we picked a topic and we stayed with it for a while.
Yes,
we definitely kept circling around to it, so I think it worked.
So, everybody out there in YouTube land, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate all of you. We'll see you next time. And remember, it could always be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras.